Alright, I downloaded this. It has 3 animations: idle, walk, and run. And it's actually a Blender file. And I'm going to show how to put those animations inside of a free HUD that you can download from the marketplace, buy off the marketplace. And that's the one I'll be using. The link for that will be in the description. I'm gonna get rid of the stuff I won't use. Also, you can see that the avatar seems rather large. It is. We need it about that size. Unfortunately, we can't scale it properly because the origin is here. So I want the origin to be at the bottom. But which bottom? Where? I'm going to see what the pose looks like. And it looks like we have a T-pose, which is great. We'll utilize it. So we'll go into pose mode. A to select all the bones, and R to reset the rotation. Now I want to move this back. This pose isn't going to stick, but it's good enough for now. I want to set the ankle bones right on the center line, these things here. And then say, because I know my cursor is in the center of the world, I want to say set origin to cursor. Now I can scale it. And it scales down, right? And I want to line up the shoulders with my reference. Sometimes you'll need to use the pelvis instead. This seems good enough. And now I can get rid of my reference rig. I shouldn't have gotten rid of that. Let me add one back. I'll bring it back a little bit because I want to pose these fingers as well to make them look something like that. I'll bring this over and I'll make a duplicate so I can pose on the other side without going back into object mode and moving it over. Get a top view, select my rig in pose mode, and just roughly mimic the Second Life bone pose. Now I can't use X mirror. I already tried. The bones aren't named properly for it. So we're matching this one to the thumb and the first finger, and the middle finger can stay where it is. And we'll assume that that's what it is, in fact, the middle finger. Straighten that out and angle the bone to match that. And this one. Now I want to save this pose. I do that with the Bento Buddy posing library. I can save a bunch of poses in one file. Add a pose, we'll call this a T pose. And I'll save this file for later in case I have to reload my... Oh, nothing is selected. Darn. That's Blender for you. Well, at least I got my pose saved before it did that. I don't know why it errored though. It should be saving directly from this. It could have been something to do with the I honestly don't know why it errored. I'll try again. But Blender has this weird thing. You can actually deselect something while you're in this mode. You can change your, it lets you do that, and I run into this problem a lot. So I'm going to delete my reference rigs now and make sure that my pose actually worked. Okay, I have my pose. I have 3 animations in here, and I'm going to go into my dope sheet. Actually, I want to show you how to split this up, so I'm gonna reset that. Now I would drag this up here to make room for it, and in this little corner you'll see I get that little target there. Click and drag up and change this to the dope sheet, and inside the dope sheet change it to type action editor, and you'll see I have 3 animations here, and we'll start with the idle one. But before we even get ahead of ourselves with that, I'm going to I'm going to map this. I'm going to map these bones so that we can convert for Second Life. And I'll save this for now. Save as and temp. So let's just go right over to the template mapper. There's this distance of about 1/2 meter. Action. Alright, now I want to be in a T-pose. It's easier for me to map, so I'm going to reset the stage and actually set a key for this. So my bones, edit, make sure all the bones, oops, not edit, pose mode, A to select all the bones, and to find out where my keys are. My first key is on 14. I don't want to overwrite that, so I'm going to go to frame 13, make sure my start is on frame 13, and I'm going to apply my T-pose, and I'm actually going to key a rotation transform there so that in my mapper it will stay like that. But we're also going to utilize this in the retargeter, so that's good. We'll do that for each one. And that's why I made this, because we have 3 animations or 3 actions in Blender speak that we need to add a T-pose to. We won't export the frame 13, but we do need it in order to conform the Second Life rig to our target character. And now we go back into our template mapper, action, and we'll hide actually before we hide the mesh, let's find out what bones we're going to use. This one here does a weird thing. It acts just like the pelvis in some other area. That's actually the pelvis. May as well map that right now. Pelvis. Map these bones. While we're up here, we may as well check the head and neck. That's not the neck. Do we have a neck? We do have a neck, and we do have a head. So let's go to the head first. That's the head. That's the neck. That'll be the next bone. And this one I think is going to be the torso. No, the chest. We do have another one. We have just one bone left, so it's either the torso or the chest. I'm going to go with the chest. So chest, and that one, whatever that is, and map those. We're going to have to skip the other one. Not enough bones. Now I'm going to turn off, I'm going to go back into shaded and hide the mesh. You can see there's only 3 bones here, and I can see there's a big gap here. It looks like this is the shoulder, and that's not animated, so we're just going to go from, not the shoulder, that's the collarbone. But that's not animated, so we're going to go from the shoulder. And that'll be this here. But there's a sane hierarchy here going on, so 1, 2, 3, right? And 1, 2, 3. We don't want this. This is a collarbone. We do want the shoulder to match this one. So 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Now I'm gonna. These are the wrist bones, and I selected one on this rig and one on that rig. And I'm going to tell it, give it a chain length of 3, and hit fill. And we're going to do that to the fingers as well, and the legs. I'll finish up the arms here, and we'll do the legs since it's 3 as well. And any fingers that are 3. Looks like we got the first finger here. Fill. And the middle finger, fill. Now I want to show you what we can do if the hands are a little too far away. My OBS just crashed in the middle of this operation, but it seems to have preserved the file despite that it's in MKV. Anyway, you can do this, but once you map a bone, once you map a bone, like if I do the chain length here, all the bones will snap back. In order to prevent that, you hit the release button here, so you can continue mapping bones, but you don't want to keep it there afterwards. And I can toggle the follow to bring them back where they belong. The thumbs now are only 2, so I'm going to map those. Actually, I'll map them individually. But from my experience, the tip is usually not going to be the better of the choices. So I'm going to go from the next one down, and I'll just map those individually. And that's it. I'm going to save my map in case something strange happens here. I crash. Reset the stage. I want to show my mesh now. Good. Now I'm going to export this animation. That's not how I do it. I have to retarget it first. When you retarget a motion, this switch sends details to the animation panel. Now it's pointing up because character tools used to be below the animation panel. I think you can reorganize them the way you like, actually. Yeah, you can. So I'll leave that on. It will give me the wrong details, but I just have to tick a couple of things here. And I'll leave that at 13. I also want to show you something here. Pose, make sure all of my bones are chosen so I can see the keys in the timeline. You'll notice that the end key here is beyond the timeline. Now that's done correctly. This presumably is a duplicate of the first, and if you allow that to play, you'll get a small hiccup. It may not be detectable in some animations, like this one. I've already been through it. You can't really tell, but it's done right. So we're not going to loop that one. We're just going to do 58. We're not going to export the frame 60, and we're not going to export frame 13 either. We're going to export from 14 to, what is it, 58? Yeah. Alright, so we'll retarget this. I want to give it some distance here so I can see what I'm doing. Action, and play it, and just have a look at the fingers. See if they're all goofed up. They look fine. I mean, they look kind of goofy, but I think it's going to look like that. It's supposed to look like that. And we can export this now. I'm going to test this on my avatar, and I'm going to throw it in the HUD and test it in the HUD. And again, we don't want frame 13, we don't want 59, and we're going to loop the animation and do the same thing and export that. Okay, so idle animation works. Now you would have downloaded a package, unpacked it, and have gotten these things here. Not downloaded, purchased from Marketplace. I'm going to use the old school, it's simpler. Copy. I really like the 2-button one though, and I can't find the original. There's another one put out by another brand in World, and it's rebranded and bugged, so I chose not to use that, even though it's my preferred one. I'm going to copy this so I don't damage the original. I can always reset, but just by deleting the old one. And I'm going to actually wear this by adding. And it's on the wrong side. Why would it be on that side? Let's not do that. Attach to HUD, bottom right. Yeah, it automatically corrected. That's good. Now I'm just going to turn it off. And I want to add my animation to this. And I know this is idle, so I'm going to name it idle. And hopefully I spelled that right. I can't really see. Right click on this and edit. It's full permission, so you can do this easily. I can drag my animation into the HUD. Double click. I'm going to delete all this because it takes longer to load the note card. And idle will be standing, so I'll type idle here. And I'm going to delete all this other stuff too. It's not needed, because it takes a while to load the note card. We don't want any of that, so save that. And now I can, right here is a little disc, and some people may not be familiar with this. New people to life will not be familiar with that, but you load the note card that way, and it's called default, and we'll see it in here. Turn this on, should work now. So that's my idle here. Now you'll see it's a little goofed up because the background animations are running. Second Life background animations are running. Alright, let's get the other animations. I can do that by resetting my retargeter here first. Reset the stage, and I want to go into my walk one. So that's a logical progression. Then we'll do the run. And you see that the walk is on a different area. And it starts at frame 62. So I'm going to do my start at 62 for now. And then it goes to frame 81. And I don't want 81, I want 80. Because we don't want to duplicate the key, we just want a transition to it, which is going to loop to the first one again. And that would be the interpolation. And we also want a T, so I need to go back one frame and make sure it's my start. And I'm going to go into pose mode because I'll need to key it. Under animation and my posing library, I will set the T-pose. Make sure all my bones are selected by hitting A and key of rotation transform right there. Now I'm ready to retarget this one. Now we have some distance action. Fingers look okay. Make sure that we know that the start frame holds the T-pose, so it's the next frame we want, and we know that the end is correct, but our animation details will have sent the entire animation, which includes frame 81, so we don't want that or that. And do the same thing for loop. And I think we can export this. No, we can't. Here's a problem. Our time is less than a full second, but it's also less than our ease, which means the ease will cover the entire animation and nothing will happen. You won't get any motion whatsoever. There's two things we can do. We can reduce the frames per second so that so that the time is larger than the ease, but we want to keep whatever the creator intended, so we'll put it back to 24. Or we can reduce the ease, which is what I'll do. Now I know 0.5 will work as well, but I want to try something different here. See what I get, and I'll export this. I'm going to turn off my AO so I can test this animation when I upload it. I should get something. Okay, so let's throw this in there. Edit. We'll call this walk. And open up my note card, and under walking I will say walk and save it. I'll have to reload the note card, so use that disk here, note card, and it will tell me when it's done. Yeah, that was quick. Turn it on. Now I'm gonna it's not working. Let's go see what we did. I seriously doubt priority is interfering with it. I'll do this again, but do a 0.5. We might have to just reduce the frames. I know this worked. I tried it already. What am I missing? Try it again. Wrong one. Yeah, that's not working. But it did run. It could be an issue with the HUD where it's not accepting things that are less than a second. I don't know. I'm not going to rename that, just in case there's a bug with naming. Animation. I don't know if it caches something. Load it again. Okay, so now it's working. So the ease was causing a problem. The ease was too short, and that doesn't make any sense to me at all, but SL animations are goofy. Let's go get the other animation to finish our thing, our HUD, and then we'll bring in the robot. But like I said, I tried that before and it worked. But strangely enough, I tried it on a non-looped animation, and that worked. But when I did a non-loop animation on the idle, that didn't work. So I'm using looped animations even though I think I'm not supposed to. Maybe someone can clue me in on what's going on. Maybe with this particular HUD. I don't know. Let's go get our other one. I don't actually need to yes I do. I need to reset the retargeter, because the next action doesn't have a T-pose on it, which is the run. Let's go see how big that is. Acquire. Wow, that's even shorter. Let's see what fun difficulty we have with this. Oh. Well, we don't know that it's short, do we? It goes from frame 1 to 12, yeah. Alright, so I need to go from frame 0 because I need my reference pose to frame 11 because we don't want to play frame 12. And I need to go to my pose library, set the pose, go to pose mode, make sure all my bones are chosen, A, and key it. Now I can go to retarget, character tools, action, and again I know that I don't want to export frame 0 or frame 12, and again I don't believe I'm supposed to loop this, but it could be something to do with the scripts in this particular case. And we have 0.42, and that's we're gonna try because this is I'm making this smaller, a smaller fraction of a second than that is, and 0.2 didn't work on the other one, but maybe it'll work on this one. I mean, something lower has to happen, or we might have to just extend the animation so that there's double the amount. And actually I'm going to show how to do that, even if this works, in case you run into problems later. Oops, I don't want that. Alright, and this will be run. Don't turn this off here. Okay, so the run works. I'm going to rename this to walk like it's supposed to be. Delete the old one. And this is supposed to be the run. And I'm going to edit my AO. I'm going to change. Let's drop the run in first. And I'm going to delete the animation one. This is the same one here. It's called a walk, and I'm going to change the note card to reflect that. So, and walking, standing, where's my running? I can't read this. Standing, did I delete it? I may have deleted it. No, I didn't. What's it way down there? Run. Alright. And I can reload the note card. Turn this on, make sure my stuff is still working. Yeah, that didn't work. See that? The walk is not working. Now I changed the name. Why is that not working? Now it's working. Maybe I had to load. I don't know. No. I think it's because it's just too small. This one kind of worked. Anyway, kind of worked. I'm going to show how to extend these because I think that's the problem. They're less than a second. It shouldn't be a problem, but maybe it is with this. Who knows? Let's go do that. And I'm just going to extend the run one. Reset the stage. And go into pose mode. And pose. And all I have to do is select all the keys that I need. And I don't need to recreate this last one I can actually delete this one because I know exactly what it does. And I'm going to select from here. I need to make sure all the bones are selected. What is... let me see, what am I doing? I'm going to select all the keys. I'll delete the T-pose afterwards. Shift D. Slide them over. And I'll drop them anywhere. Just get them out of the way. I'll delete my T-pose. And that was a mistake, because now I don't know how to select those. I'm only moving select keys. I'm going to have to go into the graph editor to do that. Now we get to have fun with that one. So I'll select, oopsie, get out of my way. I'll select all the keys in the graph editor. That doesn't make sense. Hang on. No, I just want to select these ones here. Why is it selecting those? Why would it do that? Don't know. But I can select them there and move them over here. Well, maybe someone can tell me how to do that one here. Select them in here. But anyway, I was able to select them all here. I don't know what that is. I don't know. That must be like location keys or something. I don't know. Anyway, what I want is for the first frame to land where the last one was. Do I want that? Yeah, because I don't want that to repeat. And then I want to duplicate that last one, which is actually this one as well, and bring that over to frame 22. And then say frame 21 on this, because we don't want to actually repeat that last one. And I don't want to repeat 0. Make sure start is at 1. And play it in here, see what it looks like. Does it look jumpy? It does. It looks like it's jumping. Not sure why. What's this one? No. I'll slow it down so I can see what's going on. I think maybe the animation really isn't done right. Maybe I made a mistake. I don't know. Probably made a mistake. Anyway, that didn't turn out great, but that's what I wanted to do. I want to move these back over again. Shift, click, and right there. Yeah, that didn't work out. Maybe that's how it's supposed to look. I don't know. It looks that way in the on the website. So, all right. I'm going to leave this at 15 just so I get more time. Actually, I want to cover at least a second so I don't have to run into this glitch. So let's do that. And I'm going to put this at 0.5 because I know 0.5 worked. And then I'm going to retarget. So retarget is going to go to from frame 1 to frame 21. Action. Animation. Frame 1 to frame 21. And where's my loop? Frame 1 to frame 21 and export. Then we have to come back and get the character. Alright, let's upload an animation. I'm going to turn this off. Yeah, I think that's a glitch in the animation. I don't know. We'll call that run. Wait a minute. Yeah, we did a run. Okay. Run. And delete the old one. I'll reload the note card because I don't know if that's gonna, if it's just gonna detect that I changed it, if there's any buffering going on, I don't know. Turn on run. that's Second Life's animation, background animation interfering. You'll have to take complete control over it. I think there's a switch to, I really don't know. I'm gonna have to experiment. But Second Life is controlling some of the animations, some of the bones. And for this, we're just gonna convert while it's in the T stand. So we do need frame. Was it frame 0? No, it was frame 1. Yeah, it was this frame. I'll reset the stage. And then I'll just convert this. It should be fine. I'll just save it just in case. Character converter, and just convert, and it's ready. Export. And I want to turn that off. I'll put on a blank character here. Beta grid blank, place, and upload the mesh model. Now, yeah, this would work. The animation would work. Wouldn't be all glitchy like you see if it were Animesh, because Animesh doesn't have any background animations, only what you put in it. I'm also going to test drive this with a different animation afterwards. And I'll just double click to wear this. And actually I'm gonna do our animation right now because I know there's no location data in it, and I worry that my the animations I upload will goof up the avatar, and I'll have to just reset again. Alright, so we have a usable avatar, and go back to our recompose. That's not what I want. This one here. Add. Turn it on. Okay, and that kind of works. Alright, so it's really goofed up because of the background animations. You're gonna have to take control of that. I might do a video on that. But I am also going to drop this as a animesh here, and drop one of these animations in it. Create an anchor, select that, choose the anchor last, link, features, animesh. I will put in a walk animation, and I will look for my script animesh and drop my common script in there and let it play. Now I have to lift this up somewhat and edit linked, and I'll select the box to make it invisible.